20 CEOs say AI is good for the market and bad for jobs. Accenture cuts 11,000 jobs and tells the rest of their staff to master AI. A robot expert says humanoid robots aren't going to work. And go north, young technologist. Canada puts out the welcome mat for high-tech talent. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Axios interviewed 20 CEOs last week and heard the same message. Artificial intelligence is boosting productivity and stock prices, but it's going to cut jobs. There is the promise of some new roles that will be created. That's not off the table. But those same executives said plainly, more will be lost than gained. Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, didn't sugarcoat it. He said it's going to be a jobs crisis. And Walmart's Doug McMillon told the Wall Street Journal, it's very clear that AI is going to change literally every job. Maybe there's a job in the world that AI won't change, but I haven't thought of it. And it couldn't come at a worse time. Between May and August, U.S. employers added just 27,000 jobs a month. A year earlier, that number was 168,000. Wages are slowing too. Hourly pay is up about 3.7% over the past year, but that's down from about 4.2% the year before. Workers are feeling it. In a New York Fed survey, they put their chances of finding a new job at only 45% if they lost the one they have. That's the lowest confidence level since the survey started in 2013. The view of the future from the corner office isn't encouraging. In addition to Axios' panel of 20 CEOs, a Business Roundtable survey said that nearly 4 in 10 CEOs expect to cut jobs in the next 6 months. At the same time, almost 9 in 10 said they'll keep spending on technology and equipment. In other words, more money for machines, less for people. The 20 CEOs Axios interviewed make a convincing case. But there is no certainty. As the old line goes, making predictions is hard, especially about the future. But the question's unavoidable. What if they're right? And we're only just starting to see the impact. Can we have a roaring economy with no job creation or even job losses? That's a world we don't seem to be prepared for. And as if on Accenture, one of the world's largest consulting firms, says it's laying off more than 11,000 employees. The move comes as the company shifts away from labor-intensive work and doubles down on AI-driven consulting. At the same time, CEO Julie Sweet has warned the rest of Accenture's 700,000-strong workforce that mastering AI is no longer optional. She called AI the new digital and said every employee will be expected to use it aggressively in their work. Now, this mandate could boost productivity, but it also raises tough questions about the future of the firm's business model. Large consultancies work a lot like big law firms. A smaller number of senior experts leverages an army of junior consultants to deliver projects. The more you expanded that, the more money you made. Now, if AI makes those senior consultants vastly more productive, the economic logic points to needing fewer junior staff. Greater profitability, fewer people. So while Accenture is training tens of thousands of employees on AI, it's also signaling that not everyone will be needed in the long run. And for companies that are built on people power, that's a seismic shift. And if AI can upend the consulting model, what other white-collar industries will be next? There are a lot of critics in tech, and there are a lot of people with a lot of opinions. But when the opinions come from people with deep experience, you owe them a listen. Rodney Brooks, co-founder of iRobot and a longtime MIT professor, one of the most respected names in robotics, says that the current hype around humanoid robots is, in his words, pure fantasy thinking. Now, Brooks isn't arguing that robots won't succeed. He's saying the push to build full-sized machines that walk, balance, and handle objects like humans may be a dead end. Human hands, for example, have about 17,000 specialized touch receptors. Today's robot hands don't even come close. Yet, reportedly, Elon Musk is demanding that his Optimus robot must have the dexterity to thread a needle. Brooks argues that's a fool's errand. We recently saw a video of the Optimus robot clunking along like someone wearing an ill-fitting suit of armor, and that was in a simple and controlled environment. Brooks is arguing that in the real world, robots will not only have trouble, but they could be dangerous. He says the physics are daunting. When a 200-pound robot falls, it doesn't just stumble. It crashes with real force and creates safety risks. Again, Brooks isn't saying we won't have robots. He's just saying not as fast as some are claiming and that they won't be bipedal human lookalikes. He maintains that in about 15 years, the most successful robots won't look like people at all. They'll have wheels instead of legs, multiple arms, and specialized sensors designed for specific tasks, not the humanoid form factors built for sci-fi appeal. Brooks' concern is that billions are being poured into humanoid startups chasing this vision, even though the underlying science and engineering challenges are far from solved. In his view, humanoid robots are a bubble that is bound to burst. Hard to argue with anyone with his experience, but there is a lot of very big money betting on him being wrong. As the U.S. ramps up visa costs and tightens access for foreign tech workers, Canada is stepping in with an open invitation. Prime Minister Mark Carney said Canada plans to court the very people who would have qualified for B visas but now might be shut out. Carney says there's an opportunity to attract people who previously would have got so-called HV visas. This timing isn't random. The U.S. has just imposed a $100,000 fee for a new H-1B visa application, reshaping the economics of hiring international talent. Canada is betting that many of those software engineers, AI researchers, and data scientists might now look north. And it's not just about jobs. By capturing this displaced wave of global tech talent, Canada could boost its innovation hubs, strengthening clusters in cities like Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, and turn brain drain into brain gain. And unlike car parts or steel, it's not easy to slap tariffs on intellectual property or knowledge. So if digital services and IP development are done in friendly Canada, how do you keep that out? And as Canada's already found out, with its high-tech areas, when you get a concentration of high-powered tech minds in a geographic area, it has an enormous impact on innovation and entrepreneurship. The big question is going to be whether Canada can deliver the full package: immigration pathways, tax regimes, and access to capital to make itself truly an alternative to Silicon Valley. I'm sure Canada's under no illusions that they're going to eliminate Silicon Valley, but they could get a piece of the pie, a digital pie, that is. And that's our show. If you like what we're doing, please share the show with others. Give us a like or comment on your favorite podcast app or site. We are found everywhere: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and more. We're back on Alexa speakers and Google smart speakers, although we're still wrestling with Google and Alexa at times. There's something causing an odd failure in our RSS. Bear with us, we haven't given up. But you do know you can find us on any podcast app, and if you get an iPhone, you can just say, "Hey Siri, play the podcast." But if you got this show and you've listened to the end, that's the good news, because I get to say it. Have a marvelous Monday.